Hey guys, welcome back to another devotional video. My name is Ryan, for those of you who may not know me. And if you have been watching these videos, you've probably seen me before, and you'll probably also notice that we have a little bit of a change of scenery here. I'm actually sitting by my fire right here next to me, and I was sitting out here kind of thinking about what to talk about in this next devotional video. And as I was sitting out here, something hit me and I was like, hey, why not just start recording right now by the fire? So I'm on my phone. Hopefully this turns out good. But what I want to talk to you about is something that we actually talked about in House Party tonight. For those of you who don't know what House Party is a middle school gathering that we are currently doing online every single Wednesday night at 7 p.m. So if you're interested in that, if you didn't know about that, or if you did know about it and you just want to get plugged in, feel free to reach out to one of your student ministry leaders or drop a comment on this video here, and we would love to get you connected with House Party. But what we talked about in House Party tonight was a little bit more touchy of a subject, something that the church usually tends to shy away from and not really talk about much. So that's what I wanted to do today. I wanted to take a second and talk about it. And that is the topic of dating. Now, if you hear somebody in ministry or some sort of church leader say that word, it might be a trigger to you, but don't get triggered with me. I hope this will be a completely normal and comfortable conversation, but I do want to present you guys today with a truth that I think will be helpful to you in your dating experience. So if you're watching this video, you are probably in middle school or high school or around that age, hopefully, and you've either had some experience with dating, maybe you're currently in a dating experience, or maybe you're just a couple years from being in a dating relationship. So wherever you are on the spectrum, I think this conversation really applies. Now, before I get any further, I want to give a few disclaimers. I am not encouraging dating. I am not discouraging dating. This is what I will tell every single student that asks me about dating. This is what I'll say. I'll say, talk to your parents. Because here's the truth. Your parents are ultimately the voice and authority in your life that will tell you when you can or cannot date, and sometimes who you can or cannot date. So don't bother asking me who to date and who not to date and when to date and when not to date, because I will always default to your parents. Whether you like it or not, they are some of the wisest people in your life, and they have one of the best perspectives on your life. So listen to your parents. But I do want to present a little truth today, and I want to start it off with something that maybe isn't necessarily a truth. I don't think it's really biblical at all, but it's something that I live by, and it's something that I would strongly encourage you to live by, and that is this. You should be dating to marry. Here's what I mean by that. You shouldn't just be dating around to have some fun, to get to know some people, to put yourself out there and see, who would respond to what people will say. You should be dating, in my opinion, for the sole purpose of finding a lifelong partner, somebody to marry and somebody to be with. Again, I don't think that's biblical, and that's okay. That's just a standard I live by, and I'd strongly encourage you to consider it for yourself. So with that in mind, with the idea of dating for marriage in mind, I want to look at this verse. This verse is in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14, and it says this. It says, "Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers." Now, this verse here is actually talking about marriage. It's pretty much saying don't marry a non-Christian. But if you keep in mind the principle, the standard that I just shared with you a minute ago, that you should date for marriage, then this verse completely applies to you. So here's my encouragement for you guys. The sun is setting. It's getting dark. I don't have much time, but here it is. Date people who have the same standards and moral values and faith as you. It will be a whole lot simpler if you do that. You'll save yourself a lot of heartache. You'll save the other person a lot of heartache. Do not be unequally yoked. Now you might say, there's some good people out there and they aren't necessarily Christians. And yes, that's true. But if we truly listen to this verse and we're truly dating for marriage, then we should be focused on finding good Christian people to be in a relationship with. That is all I have for you guys. I'm gonna sit here and enjoy my fire. Also, Peep, my cat, in the background there. He's like right there moving in the bushes. Sometimes I like chasing my cat around the yard. Maybe I'll go do that.